Okay. Oh yes, my fees. Number 1 here. And today, ladies and motherfucking gentlemen, I'm here today to do another episode of Who Would Win. And to help me with this triple threat special, oh yes, my first ever triple threat, I am brought on another YouTuber to help me out. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Hello everyone, I am Sonic the Hedgehog Pingus, and today I'm going to be collabing in this.
Thank you for joining me today. So anyway, this Who Would Win.
Oh yeah,
which not only defies the laws of fucking physics and gravity, but when he does it, no matter where he is on the stage, he can reach his opponent between 0.5 and 0.8 seconds. Holy shit.
Oh wow, jeez.
Seriously, if you do the flying kick during Mortal Kombat 9, he will do it in literally less than a second on the clock.
Well then, I guess I will now talk about Ryu and Jin's durability. Now, with Ryu's durability, he like pretty much survived a fight with Akuma. Now, if you don't know how powerful Akuma is, this guy has literally destroyed a submarine. Pretty much, as Shin Akuma was able to destroy an asteroid twice the size of the moon, and freaking comparing it to Ryu, he literally kept trying. He literally beat Ryu so hard, and he just kept going up. Like, that is some major durability right there.
He has some serious balls to get up after a beating from Akuma.
Yeah, like, let's just say that he was lucky that he wasn't Oni. If he was, that would have been a totally different story.
Oh, fucking hell. If he was Oni, Ryu wouldn't get up at all.
No. We already know how powerful he is after he faced Asura. Alright, I'll talk about Jin's durability. You see, this is pretty crazy, but he's already superior in base to Heihachi. What Heihachi did is, he survived an explosion that made an enormous crater in a mountain. Like, just imagine that. You know how huge a mountain is. It literally destroyed, let's just say, it made a massive crater on the mountain. Alright, so it went inside the mountain, and he was just fine. And we're already talking about how base Jin is powerful than Heihachi. We're not even talking about Devil Jin stats. There are multiple times that of base Jins. So let's just say, if we compared these two, I'm pretty sure Devil Jin could survive a town explosion.
Holy crap. Dropping Megaton bomb on this guy, and he'll just...
actually...
Seriously, if you dropped a World War II Megaton bomb on this guy, he'll just walk out dusting himself off.
He'll just say, bitch, please.
Well, this may not sound as impressive as that, but Liu Kang, in terms of durability, was able to survive 2 Mortal Kombat tournaments within the space of 2 weeks. And every Mortal Kombat tournament usually takes about 50 years, and when the champion wins, he gets to live. He gets to not age for those 50 years, but because Shao Kahn cheated, 2 weeks later, he made another tournament, and Liu Kang survived both of them, and won them both.
Oh, whoa!
So he fought against strong people like Goro and Shang Tsung, and Kentaro, and fucking Shao Kahn.
Like, Shao Kahn, he has devoured so much souls. Seriously, how many souls do you think he has?
Enough to fill his cereal bowl every day.
Yeah. Man. Alright, then, with everyone's stats, we are now going to compare them and see who would come out on top.
Oh, no. No, we haven't. There's 3 more stats you've missed out.
Oh, I'm sorry, what is that?
Well, let's move on to the martial arts, shall we? So what is the name of... So what martial arts does Ryu use?
His martial arts technique, he does an Satsuken, which is Kung Fu and some other types of martial arts. It's pretty much like multiple techniques.
Don't mean to sound nitpicky, but it's actually karate that he knows, not Kung Fu.
Oh no, I failed.
It's okay. People mistake it a couple of times.
Yep. Then I'll let you talk about Jin and Liu Kang's martial arts.
Well, Liu Kang's martial art is basically just Kung Fu. He learned Shaolin Kung Fu because he was born in China. He's proficient in regular Kung Fu, Dragon style Kung Fu, and I think the first style any Shaolin monk actually learns is the 7-Star Fist. So I'm guessing he knows that as well. And for Jin Kasama, I don't know the technical name because he gives it a special name, but he technically just basically knows karate.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
He does also know
do
some
we go on to techniques?
Yeah, let's move on to the techniques, shall we?
Alright, well, what Ryu has is Ryu's techniques is pretty much Hadouken, which is a burst of energy. It's pretty much like the Kamehameha, except it's not like, you know, a beam or a blast.
Even though in a couple of the Street Fighter games, it can become a beam.
Yeah, he can. It's just that in we're talking about the original Hadouken, not the Shinku Hadouken.
Just wanted to point it out.
Well, also, it's Shinku, isn't it?
Doesn't matter about pronunciation.
Yeah, true. Well, what he also has is the Shoryuken, which is basically what the Shoryuken is that he does an uppercut he punches the opponent's chin and does an uppercut, which basically puts them into the air at 20 feet and makes them land. And to be honest, that is pretty impressive. Some other techniques he has is the Satsumeki Senpuyaku, which is basically a hurricane kick. So what else he has is he also has the Metsu Hadouken, which is basically a powered up version of his normal Hadouken, which he fires a huge beam and it does impressive damage. Another technique he has is also the Metsu Shoryuken, which is basically a powered up version of his normal Shoryuken.
Is that everything?
Well, no, that is not everything. He has much more techniques, but these are just these basic techniques. He has many more techniques that I will now talk about. Now, what other techniques he has is, well, it's a bit hard to decide what other techniques he has, because in many multiple games, he does show a variety of different techniques, as they do remove some and add more. I will be talking about ones that he uses in most games. So for the first technique, one of the techniques he has is he has a move called it's a bit, oh man, I can't find any.
Try thinking of some of the moves in his transformations.
Oh yeah, I can talk about that. Well, as Evil Ryu, he does have some techniques. His Hadouken changing to purple, and he has learnt the move, the Raging Demon Soul, the Shungoku Setsu, but it is an incomplete version. It's not as strong as Akuma's, but it can still work. And basically, those are Ryu's basic techniques.
Well, very good.
Well, I'll let you talk about Liu Kang's and Jin's techniques.
Liu Kang can shoot out a fireball in the shape of a dragon's head, which technically means he has pyrokinesis. He can do this. He can do this while standing up or even crouched down. And then in some of the games, he can do it when he jumps as well. So basically, he can shoot it from anywhere he likes. He also has the flying kick, the bicycle kick, which is literally gravity defying. He has the fire fist flurry, where he puts both of his fists on fire and does multiple punches to his opponent. Yeah, he has one of his fatalities is known as Fist of Flame, where he puts his fist, engulfs his fist in flame and punches it right through the middle of the person's chest. He also has another fatality, which comes into his transformation called Dragon Eat, where he transforms into his dragon form and eats half of his opponent. He literally puts his whole dragon mouth from head to the hip, crunch it, and then eat the top half of his opponent. I don't know about you, but his breath must stink after that.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh yeah, he also has this ability where he can if timed correctly, if someone tries to punch him, he'll teleport into fire and come behind his opponent to do a backhand attack. I don't know the technical name for it, but I suppose it'd be called right back at ya. Get it? Right back at ya?
Yeah, I guess.
But I digress. I don't know the full name. I don't know the name of it, but I suppose it's just like a mixture between his fire teleportation and a back punch. But it's a pretty. Oh no, wait! I remember. It's called parry. I
think it is.
Which is a term from the word used to mean fighting with a sword. The word parry means to deflect and quickly attack your opponent. How funny! He named a move after a technique from using swords. Well, how about that?
Oh, that's pretty impressive, I must say.
So one of the techniques so Jin Kazama's techniques are, as I've gathered, is that he can shoot a red energy ball out of his fist, but instead of it coming out of his fist like being shot out of his fist, he makes it randomly appear in certain places in front of him. Like, he'll make a red energy ball about 2 feet in front of him from where he thrust his fist. He can make 1 or 2 of these. He can also do what I like to call electrical fury, where he surrounds his fist in red electricity and does a quick flurry of punch attacks to his opponent. He can do between 5 and 10 attacks, 10 being the maximum he can do, and doing the maximum amount of damage. And once he does the final punch in his electrical fury attack, he literally launches his opponent about 5 to 7 feet away from him. He also thanks to his Devil Jin form, he can shoot a laser from the middle of his forehead, made out of pure. I don't know if it's made out of pure energy, like a laser energy, or if it's a laser as in like key laser, like made out of key energy. He also has this he has his own version similar to the Shoryuken, but the only difference is when characters like Ryu do the Shoryuken, he spins after the uppercut, but Jin has this cool move where he spins before he uppercuts. He like does a little spin in front of his opponent, getting closer towards him, and then he's like, boom, uppercut.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. I don't think he has any more moves than that.
Yeah. Well then, I guess I will go into talk. We're now talking into the transformed states.
Oh boy, here comes the good part.
Yeah. You gotta love transformations. After Dragon Ball Z, they made so much transformations. People really enjoy them, and I enjoy them as well.
Am I the only one who thinks Dragon Ball Z invented transformations in a way?
Yeah, they kind of did, to be honest. Well, when did Transformers come out? It's pretty much They should call it now Dragon Ball Z Transformers, since there's so many much transformations.
Lol. But anyway, what transformations
well,
does Ryu have?
Ryu has two transformations, to be honest. The first one is Evil Ryu, but to be honest, it's not the Ryu that it has fully awakened into the Satsui no Hado. This is the one where he still has his normal hair, but it's just that his clothes are purple and his skin is a bit darker. Now, this version of Ryu is still evil, but he's not as much wanting to, like, kill people and loves violence, much as the fully awakened Evil Ryu. Now, the fully awakened Evil Ryu is when he fully has the Satsui no Hado. His eyes are glowing red, his hair is spiked up like a Super Saiyan and is red, and he's more demonic, and literally, he cannot control himself. Ryu is much powerfuler. So what people have said is that the power of nothingness, which Ryu has achieved in Street Fighter V, is more powerful than the Satsui no Hado, which we both disagree with, because it just doesn't really make any sense. And how he got rid of the Satsui no Hado, because in the comics, he keeps the Satsui no Hado with him. As I've said, Evil Ryu is more stronger than base Ryu. He has learned the demon teleport, which basically, he's able to teleport it from screen to screen, and is able, as I've said before, is able to pull off the Raging Demon, just not as good as Akuma's. That is all the transformations that Ryu has.
Forget. So, are you including the power of nothingness Ryu? Because in a way, when he activates it, it's kind of like a transformation.
Well, yes, true. He does achieve blue power, but technically, it's kind of like it doesn't really. It doesn't really change Ryu. It kind of gives him strength, but we can't really exactly call that a transformation.
Well, it depends on your opinion. It could either be a transformation, or it could be like, or it could count as more of a power-up technique, like the Kaioken.
Yeah, kind of like that. Well then, I'll talk about what Jin can do. Now, what Jin does have is we pretty much all know what this is. He can pretty much go into Devil Jin, which is the Devil Gene, which is his father has. Now, what this is his strength multiplies by a heap load. He literally becomes so much stronger. That pretty much all the feats that we talked about with base Jin, we need to multiply that by a lot. Now, also, in one of the games, I'm not sure which game, I think it was Tekken Tag Team Tournament, he does have a character where he fully taps into Devil Gene. The devil turns into an actual devil. I don't remember which game that's from.
He can do that in Tekken Tag Tournament, and I think it's also a thing in Tekken 6.
Yeah, Tekken 6, I think.
And I think
does he get stronger by that?
Well, in the Street Fighter animated movie, Jin has the devil form, then he has like his, but for some reason they didn't show like Devil Jin from the video games. They showed this this dog-like beast form of a devil, and then he was like, you know, fuck this, I'm not letting my dad beat me. Then he fully awakened the Devil Jin, and he instead of looking like a devil, he looked more like a bloody robotic angel. So it
really does, to be honest.
But so I suppose that form would be like fully awakened Devil Jin.
Yeah, kind of like how Evil Ryu goes fully awakened Evil Ryu.
Am I the only one who thinks?
Kind of like how Akuma goes into Oni.
Am I the only one who thinks that Tekken kind of copied off Street Fighter?
Well, it's kind of they don't really. Well, it's kind of like with demons and devils. Yeah, it's kind of familiar. It's kind of similar.
Well then, looks like we got guys with two demonic-like forms, but Liu Kang's transformation isn't demonic in any way. In fact, in almost every religion that dragons are in, they are actually not seen as demonic creatures, they're seen as peaceful creatures. Liu Kang can, thanks to his transformation, and in the Mortal Kombat universe is known as an animality, he can transform into a fucking dragon. Now I don't mean like a human dragon, and I don't mean a human dragon hybrid. No. He turns into a fully tall, a 10.5 feet tall black dragon that looks exactly like the dragon from the Mortal Kombat symbol.
Yeah, it's kind of like how he owns Mortal Kombat.
And the mouth of the dragon's head itself is bigger than a half of an opponent's body. So say if he was to eat like Sub-Zero, and Sub-Zero's apparently 7.5 feet tall. Holy shit, he's huge. He would be technically, his mouth alone would be round about 3.6 feet long. That's a big head.
Whoa, that's pretty long.
So if that's how big his head is, and his height was, and I said his height was 10.5, imagine how long he is.
He'd be really long.
That's what all the ladies say.
Yeah. Wow.
And even though he doesn't, and in this form he may not be able to do martial arts, but his power is increased dramatically.
So he has a huge power. He has a huge, pretty much boost.
Well, wouldn't you think you get stronger if you turned into a dragon?
Yeah, you would. Definitely.
Okay then. Well, we've got all the statistics out of the way, ladies and gentlemen. Now we get on to the nitty-gritty part. Now we need to discuss, out of all the statistics, who has the better feet overall. So you know what that means.
Do we talk about strength first?
We have to backtrack. Okay.
Alright, well, what we have shown is that Ryu has been able to lift a boulder with Aura on it.
Well then, looks like we need some mathematics here to the...
Yeah, I guess we do. We need to talk about how big the boulder is and how much tons it would be to carry it.
Well, if we disclude Oro from the equation, and we just focus on Ryu lifting the boulder, we have to figure out how tall the boulder was and how wide it was. If we know the height and the width, we can get a measurement of the volume overall.
Well, if we get the volume, let's see. If we do get, let's just say, you go to a mountain and you find a huge rock. Let's just say, you know what normal rocks are, right? You know how for a normal human, it's pretty hard to carry. Well, Ryu, basically, he isn't a normal human.
Oh, in no concept is he human.
You know, he does feats way beyond a human.
I don't even know if he could be classed as a meta-human.
Yeah.
But anyway, if I recall from the picture of Ryu lifting that boulder, the boulder was round about just taller than Ryu, and Ryu stands about 5'9", so let's say the boulder was 5'10", and the boulder was wider than Ryu, and from shoulder to shoulder, Ryu's width is about a foot and a half, and if the boulder was wider than him by a good margin, let's say the boulder was about 2.5 feet wide, So now we have to times the height by the width.
So if we times, let's just say, wait, so Ryu weighs 5.5'9", right?
No, not weighs 5'9". His height is 5'9".
His height is 5'9". Sorry.
So with a little quick calculation.
Alright, now we need to times it by.
Don't worry. Give me a second. Stupid calculator, come on. Alright, so the boulder was 5'10", or 5.10, and we times height by width, which is, and the width was 2.5. We get 12.75 feet squared, but we need to find out what the volume is, as it was a round boulder. To find out that, we need to times 12.75 by Pythagoras. So we need to times that by 3.14, and we get 40.035 cubed to pi. In other words, it was over 40 feet spherical. He lifted a 40-foot round boulder.
Whoa.
And if Oro weighs, let's say, a generous 110 pounds, and because the boulder was made out of rock, we don't know how to find out. We know how big it is, but we don't know how heavy it was. But if it was the same height as, if it was just taller than Ryu and wider than him and made of rock, most likely chance it would weigh, at a rough estimate, and I'm lowballing this because I'm not entirely sure, because I don't know how to times, because I've forgotten how to times volume by mass, but it would probably weigh somewhere around 3 stone. I mean, not stone.
Wow, that's pretty heavy.
Not stone, my bad. I mean 3 tons.
Well then,
which is heavier than the average car.
Well, we have seen Ryu being able to beat up a car.
And that is very true. But lifting cars isn't extremely impressive in other terms. But hey, if you can lift a car over your head, people are still gonna be bloody shocked. And
yeah, they will.
And that's base form Ryu who did it. When Ryu goes power nothingness, evil, and full evil Ryu, they multiply that by a lot. And I mean a lot.
Yeah, he'd probably be able to lift up, let's just say, do you think he'd probably be able to lift up, let's just say, let's just go with a huge, let's just say a tree. Let's just say, would he be able to lift up, let's just say, a huge tree?
Well, the tallest tree, the biggest and tallest tree in the world is the sequoia, which can weigh 4,000 tons. If Ryu can lift around 3 to 4 tons in base form, and let's say his multiplier for times everything about nearly 1,000, he could potentially lift up the biggest tree in the world.
That's really impressive. Alright then. So, now that we've got Ryu's strength down and how he could probably lift the strongest, the tallest tree in the world, how about we talk about Jin's strength?
Well, as you told us in one of his feats of strength, apparently Jin can level an entire forest in Devil Jin form just with his bare strength. So if he can level a forest with, say, by punching a tree each time, like he's like one tree gone, another tree gone, we have to calculate how strong he would be in base form, then compare it back to Devil Jin form, and then compare that to his fully awakened form.
Well, if we get basic Jin, he's pretty much, let's just say, we need to figure out what the multiple is. So if we get base Jin and then we see how much time stronger he is in Devil Jin, then we might get an answer.
Well, Jin in base form in the animated movie Tekken Blood Vengeance, he was strong enough to punch Heihachi through solid concrete.
Whoa, really?
Yep, he did his multi-punch technique, where he punches his opponent extremely fast and a lot. He punched him through solid concrete.
Jeez.
And then during that movie in Devil form, he sure I know it's a bit weird to compare it to a move, but when he did his laser move in his sort of like untrained Devil Jin form, he leveled an entire temple made out of oak wood with one laser going crazy from his head. And the temple stood 300 feet tall. Not 300.
And he destroyed it with a single laser.
The temple stood about 110 feet tall.
Whoa.
And it was all made out of wood and some bits of it concrete. So if we were to try and compare the laser to his near enough his punching strength in that form, I seriously couldn't doubt that he couldn't punch the temple, he couldn't destroy the temple in that form. Because if you can destroy something with a laser, isn't the same said you can destroy it with your bare hands?
Yeah, that's a bit tricky.
Well, think about this. Master Roshi destroyed the moon with a Kamehameha. Wouldn't that mean he would be strong enough to destroy it with his bare hands, or would that require something else?
No way.
Okay, I guess comparing lasers to bare fists is a bit of a hard one to do.
Yeah. Well, if we go into, let's just say, his fully awakened Devil Jin, do you think he could do it?
That's hard. But during the film Tekken Blood Vengeance, when he went into his full Devil Jin form, he punched his father, who was in his Devil Jin form, so hard he created a sonic boom.
A sonic boom?
His fist hit with the force of Mach 1, which is not a measurement of weight or pounds, is a measurement of speed.
Well then, I don't really think we need to talk about much more, because if the true version of the Devil Jin can, like, punch to Mach 1, that's really powerful.
Yep.
That's way stronger than his forest speed.
Well then, now we have. Okay, but we got one more person in the comparison. My God, there's so many variables. Liu Kang's strong enough to kick an opponent who weighs 700 pounds, and 1,000 pounds adds up to a ton. So he can kick up to 7/10 of a ton in base form. Just imagine how strong he would be as a dragon.
It would be really powerful.
If his dragon mouth is strong enough to snap a human in half, and if we were to calculate that, we would have to know how many pounds per square inch it would take, and that would take forever to know. But anyway, but seeing how he can do it with basically almost any character, then if his mouth is that strong to snap any character in half for Mortal Kombat, just imagine how strong he is if he was to lift or break stuff with his bare fist.
Yeah.
It's safe to say dragons are awesome.
Yeah, they are very. Well, if we put all these three strength feats together.
Okay,
so to be honest, in my opinion, I actually think Jin takes the strength.
Okay, so we got a guy who could essentially lift the tallest tree in the world, which is 4,000 pounds. A guy who can punch with the force of a sonic boom, and a guy whose strength might be unknown because we don't know what his full strength would be, and we don't know the times for the multiplier for the animality. So we've got unknown, an unknown, a punching force, and a lifting force.
I think.
So we have to kind of disclude Liu Kang from the equation because his is unknown. So it's not. So
yeah.
So what's better? Someone who can lift something, or someone who can punch with the force of something
else? The tallest tree in the world to a guy who can literally punch at Mark 1. I don't really think it's a contest.
Well, yeah, I actually agree. Because technically that anime movie was meant to be based off the video games of Tekken. Yeah, even though I don't want to say it, I think Jin actually might just have the. Well, I don't know. In terms of striking strength, he wins, definitely. But in terms of lifting strength, I think the winner might be Ryu.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So physically strong is Ryu, but in terms of fighting strength, it goes to Jin. So even?
Even, yeah, I think we can call it even.
Hi, Steve Design #1 here, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with Sonic the Hedgehog Pingus with the triple threat who would win between Ryu, Jin, and Liu Kang. So, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Yes, we are doing the triple threat again to see who would win out of these three contestants, Ryu, Jin, and Liu Kang.
Righty, okay. Now then, where we left off last time, we were going to try and see who was stronger in their base form. In other words, the form they always start in. Well, how strong would you reckon Jin is in base form if we managed to find a way to to make his power weaker from his devil form from the forest feat?
Well, to be honest, if we're talking about that feat, Jin technically didn't use his, let's just say, punch. He more used his eye blast to destroy the forest. So it's a bit hard to calculate how powerful base form Jin really is.
Well, isn't that a bummer? Okay,
yeah,
so
it's a bit hard to be honest if they don't show any feats.
Okay, so in base form, Jin's strength is is almost non-existent. Luke, as I said,
I'm saying if we did have to calculate how powerful he is, let's just say if we say how powerful Jin is, let's take some fights and compare to people who have had feats, and if they're on the same level as Jin, we can calculate how powerful Jin is.
Well, the closest person we can put towards Jin is either Kajira or Heihachi. They are the only people that come to mind that might be on par with Jin.
Well, we did see in Tekken 7, Heihachi did held his own against Akuma.
Yeah, but for some reason I feel like the only reason why Akuma was there was for plot convenience.
Yeah. It's a bit hard to tell if that's canon or not.
Yep, that one is a real doozy.
Yeah.
But even with that, even with the problem of Jin's strength, even with the problem of Jin's strength, we still have almost knowledgeable strength of the other two fighters. As I said before, Liu Kang can kick a man who weighs over 700 pounds about 10 feet into the air, but Ryu can also do similar feats with punching as well. But that would mean Ryu's fist is either stronger or as strong as Liu Kang's kicks. And everyone knows that a martial artist kick is stronger than a punch.
So yeah, basically, we have seen that he's able to destroy a car with both his hands and his fists. Now, as we're talking about that, if we calculate, let's just say, Ryu's other feat of able to lifting up the largest tree in the world that would weigh about 40,000 tons. If we take this car, we need to calculate how much it weighs and, how, let's just say, strong it is to be able to, let's just say, from a normal human, to be able to not make a scratch on a car.
The average boxer can actually make a considerable dent in a real-life car. But for someone to be able to punch a car so hard that you punch the door clean off, that would require a lot of strength.
Yeah, and plus we see Ryu completely destroying the car.
Oh, he fucks that car up.
He destroys it so badly.
And the heaviest average car a human normally drives weighs around 3,000 pounds, 3 tons, or a weird number in terms of kilograms, which I can't be bothered going on to saying.
Yeah. I think we can already tell in base form. To be honest, I think Ryu takes base form strength.
Well, guess I'll have to agree, because Jin doesn't seem to have any count. The only thing that shows somewhat of his strength was the fact that he punched Heihachi through solid concrete, but but concrete is not as dense as metal is.
Yeah, and we know cars.
Yep, in fact, the average car can actually break through a concrete pillar with enough force.
And Ryu is able to completely destroy one.
Yep, so what's better, a man who can punch another man through concrete, or a man who can punch a fucking car into bits? I think the answer is the man who can punch a car into bits.
Yeah. So we have to say that Ryu wins in strength.
Well, there we go. Finally, we got.
In our opinion, of course.
Well, finally, we got strength over with. Now then, quickly, let's move on to speed.
Now, what we do know from Ryu and Jin is they are both able to dodge bullet fire, but the fact that Jin can actually dodge missiles.
That one is a really impressive feat. The fact that he can dodge missiles in base form either means that missiles don't travel as fast as we thought, or Jin's faster than we thought.
Yeah. To be honest, if we're talking about, let's just say the main reason is expecting it and unexpecting it. Because if you are expecting it, you will have more time to be able to dodge. But if you're unexpecting it, that gives you less time. Impressive feat if you're unexpected rather than expected.
Yep. In fact, people say if you're not expecting an attack from your opponent, your reaction time gets greatly reduced by a humongous margin.
Yeah, that is very true.
So even though Ryu can dodge bullets point blank, technically so can Jin Kasama. But if he can also dodge missiles that he wasn't expecting, like say someone got military missile launcher out of nowhere and tried to shoot Jin, and he was like, wait, what? And he still manages to dodge them in base form. That is quite some considerable speed and reaction time.
Yeah.
And this is not a lie, the slowest missile ever made by man can still do 1,000 miles per hour.
100 miles per hour. Well, that is actually really impressive if you're unexpecting it.
So let's see, the average bullet goes over 735 miles per hour, and if if the slowest missile in the world does 1,000, that's still some insane speed.
Yeah, it really is. Should we talk about Liu Kang?
Well, let me see. We don't see much of speed. Liu Kang is certainly a quick fighter. He can fight incredibly fast, as he is based off Bruce Lee. But the fastest thing we ever see.
And also what about his kick? You know his kick where he pretty much like flies straight to your opponent really fast. Maybe we can calculate that.
Well, I was about to get to that. So it seems
my bad.
It seems that if you're at the end of the screen and your opponent is at the edge of their side of the screen, because there's a limited space and you can't have the whole screen like you can in Tekken for some reason. If Liu Kang does the flying kick, the regular one can get about more than halfway towards your opponent. But if you do the powered up version, which I don't know what the difference is, but apparently Mortal Kombat 9 there's a powered up version of it, and no matter how far away Liu Kang is from his opponent, he can literally not only defy the laws of physics, but fly with that kick to his opponent in a considerable amount of time. The regular one does about an eighth of a second, but the powered up version, as I've seen, seems to be able to go across the screen to hit your opponent within 0.3 seconds.
Whoa, that is pretty fast.
Quite literally 3/10 of a second.
To be honest, that is extremely fast. I mean, like, no normal human can do that. None of these characters are normal people.
I mean, it's no wonder he turns into a fucking dragon. The dude can fly.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no way that's just him jumping off his foot and sort of defying the laws of physics. He literally warps to where he needs to be to do that attack and fucking flies across the screen.
Yeah, like pretty much there's no jump kick, just straight up goes up and straight up goes forward.
Exactly, and it's ridiculous how he does it. So
yeah, it is.
So we got a guy who can dodge bullets point blank, a guy who can dodge missiles that he might not be expecting, and a guy with his most powerful flying kick can hit his opponent within 3/10 of a second. So which is faster is the question.
Yeah.
Well, that is actually, that's extremely hard. But according to the calculations that I saw, apparently to be able to dodge a bullet point blank, and point blank, by the way, is literally within 2 feet of the gun being towards you. If you're able to dodge a bullet point blank, if you have to dodge that bullet within 0.24 seconds. You literally have that amount of time before the bullet gets near you.
That is true.
So if a missile is faster than that, then does that mean Jin is able to dodge each missile within 0.15 seconds?
Yeah, I would say that.
So we got a guy who can move literally from one end of the screen to the other within 0.3 of a second. A guy who can dodge an iron projectile within 0.24 seconds, and a guy who can dodge not one missile but many missiles, each one in 0.15 seconds. So I hate to say it, but even though Liu Kang can move that fast, being able to dodge in less than the seconds it takes to Liu Kang to hit an opponent means you're a lot faster. So I can't believe I'm saying this, I think Jin might be the fast one.
Yeah. Alright, so Ryu takes strength and takes speed. So should we talk about who wins, the skill set or the durability?
By skill set, I'm guessing you mean the martial arts?
Technique. The martial arts, yeah, and techniques.
Okay then. We'll have to do this one extremely quickly, I think. Okay, Liu Kang knows Kung Fu, and specifically he knows Dragon style Kung Fu. Go figure.
Yeah.
And Kung Fu has been around for a long fucking time.
Yeah, it has.
For literally someone to say he's mastered it must mean he's incredibly good.
Yeah, pretty much.
And thanks to learning Kung Fu and learning how to control his chi, as they say in China, Liu Kang can shoot fire out of his hands in the shape of a dragon. He can both do it while standing up, while being in the air, and while crouching. Thanks to knowing Kung Fu, is the reason why he can do the gravity speed-defying flying kick, the gravity-defying multiple kick known as the bicycle kick, and thanks to his fire abilities, he can hit people while his fists are literally on fucking fire, and thanks to that, he can keep one fist on fire for about 2 minutes and punch right through someone's thorax. By the way, the thorax is the middle of a person's chest.
Jeez.
And also thanks to China liking dragons, Liu Kang turns into one. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. Literally turning into one.
I mean, he can do ridiculous moves such as cartwheel kicks. He can also flip and teleport with fire. He can teleport.
Oh.
Well. So yeah, Liu Kang seems to also possess pyrokinesis.
Pyrokinesis?
Yeah, it means the ability to control fire.
Well, yeah, I think we can understand that.
Okay, so
he is a master of fire.
well, if he turns into a dragon, don't you think he would have? If you could turn into a dragon, don't you think you would be able to as well? But anyway, so that's Liu Kang. Now, could you tell us what Jin Kasama's martial arts and techniques are?
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that. Well, as you can see, Jin Kazama's fighting styles, well, obviously, Judo, the Kazama family know Karate, sorry if I can't pronounce it right, Judo, Aikido, and also Daito Ryu.
I don't know what that is, but
those are pretty much.
Probably something involving dragon fighting.
It's traditional Japanese martial arts.
Huh. I thought the most traditional one would be karate.
Yeah.
And thanks to those martial arts, what techniques can he do?
Well, definitely. Well, I'm not sure if this is it is electricity, but Sama can do is he can literally shoot lasers out of his forehead when he's in his devil gene form. What else he can do is he can also do moves like, as in, I'm not sure if this is canon, but in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, is that he is able to shoot a ball of electricity, and he can pretty much aim it wherever he wants, and it suddenly just appears there.
I think that is a canon move. I just don't think anyone's discovered it yet on the official Tekken games.
Yeah. I also think that what else Jin Kazama can use is that Jin Kazama can also do this move where he literally goes really fast to you and does multiple grapple punches. He has electricity and he pretty much punches you rapidly with electricity, which is a really good move because being electrocuted your whole body by electricity, let's just say, if you got, let's just say, electrocuted with 4,000 volts, let's just say, sometimes if you get hit by electricity that has so many volts, it can literally paralyze your whole body.
Yeah, I believe that move you were describing is known as Devil's Fury.
Oh yeah. He also has a move called 10-hit combo, which is basically he does rapid combos and it does 10 hits. He also has the double face kick. To be honest, it's kind of like he has more moves as Devil Jin, to be honest.
What a shame.
Yeah, it's funny because Ryu has so many popular moves, as in Jin doesn't really have any.
Should I talk about Ryu?
Yeah, I'll let you talk about Ryu.
Okay, Ryu knows the style of Ansatsuken, which is a beautiful fusion between the three most traditional martial arts in Japan: karate, judo, and kenpo. Thanks to learning Ansatsuken, Ryu knows such moves as the Shoryuken, the Hadouken, the Tatsumaki, Senpukyaku, which is a tornado kick. He can do the Junan Sodiki, which is a power side kick. He can also do the Shinku Shoryuken, the Metsu Shoryuken, Shinku Hadouken, Metsu Hadouken, Shinku Tatsumaki, Metsu Tatsumaki, and Oh my lord, there's a lot.
Yeah, there is. Ryu knows a lot of martial arts.
He can do the electric Hadouken. He can also use the Hadouken in a blast form, Kamehameha style.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
He's also in Evil Ryu form able to Shoryuken an opponent, stay in the air for about 10 seconds, draw some weird dark energy to his hand, and do the ground fist. Oh, he also can do the ground fist. And thanks to his Evil Ryu form, he also knows some other moves, such as the Shangoku Zatsu, which is the instant hell murder attack. I think he can, blah blah. He can also do the fire Hadouken.
He can do the raging teleport.
Oh yeah, he can do the raging teleport. He can do the fire Hadouken. Seriously, there is a lot of forms for the Hadouken.
Yeah, there is. Basically, a lot of characters from Street Fighter can do Hadoukens.
And Ryu has a lot of moves he can do in the game. And one of his favorite throwing moves is where he grabs his opponent by the shirt, if they're wearing one, roll back onto his back, and kick them in the stomach away from him, which is called the monkey toss. Which, funnily enough, is also a move you can do in Kung Fu. Go figure.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much all the moves Ryu can do. There's probably a lot more, but yeah, that's still quite a lot for one guy.
Yeah, it is.
So, okay then. Now that they're out of the way, we need to discuss. Who's better at martial arts is kind of irrelevant in some ways, but I think the main part is who has the better techniques.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking about Ryu's techniques, where we can't really talk about Jin's because he doesn't. The only techniques I've seen him that he actually involves power is where he hits you rapidly with electricity, and he also throws a ball of electricity at like one certain point.
Also, if powered up, he can do 2 of them at the same time, or 3 of them with his ultra move.
Yes, pretty much. So, if we are talking about martial arts, I think with Liu Kang and Ryu knows so many styles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, he doesn't do wrestling, but he's seen it. He hopes to study it.
So, okay. I think the best way to do this is to figure out who has the best move from their who has the better ultimate move from their techniques. So let's take the most classical moves that they can do. Ryu with the Hadouken, Liu Kang with the Fire Dragon, and Jin with the Electric Ball.
Yeah.
Or aka the Devil Ball. So we need to see what the moves do in their respective games and compare them. In Street Fighter, Ryu's Hadouken, if done correctly, can knock his opponent flat on their ass. But when Liu Kang seems to do when Liu Kang throws his Fire Dragon, it doesn't seem to knock his opponent down, but it seems to push them back and set them on fire.
Yeah.
And in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which is probably the only game we see Jin do the Devil Ball move, seems, if done correctly, can also knock an opponent on their butt.
Yeah.
This is slightly tough because while you may think Ryu and Jin might have an advantage, not being able to knock someone down isn't always a bad thing. Liu Kang's move literally sets his opponent on fire. Do you know how much fire hurts your body?
It literally burns your skin off.
Seriously, I'm surprised everyone keeps their hair with this guy. But,
well,
even so, we need to figure out who has it better.
Well, if we're talking about base form Ryu Shoryuken can literally punch someone pretty much up to about up to probably about 10 feet. But to be honest, being able to literally burn someone with just an attack, that's a pretty impressive thing to do.
I don't know how the Hadouken changed to the Shoryuken, but okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I'm just teasing you. Anyway.
Yeah.
But we need to think of this. Look. We need to see if we can remember how much damage each move does. We can kind of do a better comparison. In Street Fighter Cross Tekken, if Jin does the Devil Ball move, it seems to take round about, if everyone had 100% of life, it probably takes round about 10%. In Street Fighter, when Ryu does the Hadouken, it seems to do round about 12%. But when Liu Kang does his fire move in Mortal Kombat, it always seems to do not that much. It seems to do maybe at the most 8%.
Yeah.
So if we were to make the life bars in their respective universes the same and use percentages, it seems like Ryu might just win again.
Yeah. Ryu's really powerful.
I mean, sure, Liu Kang can throw fire and Jin's ball is made of electricity or some weird devil energy, but Ryu's Hadouken is not only made of fire somewhat, it's made of pure inner energy. In fact, I theorized that Akuma's Hadouken is quite similar to Goku's Kamehameha wave.
Yeah, he can literally shoot a beam for one of his super moves. Forgot which game though.
I think you can do it in the I'm pretty sure you can do the blast moves in the EX games and some of the old pixelated games, which I forgot the names of.
Oh yeah, he can do it in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. So
I think Ryu takes techniques.
Okay then. I think we're in agreement. Ryu wins in techniques.
Yeah. Now we are down to the final one, which is durability.
Durability and transformation.
Oh yeah, also transformations.
But we can do them both quite.
Which one should we do first?
No, let's do both at the same time, because I think transformation has to do with your durability as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, Liu Kang seems to only have one transformation, and that's to turn into a dragon. Pretty cool. Ryu technically has 3. He has the power of nothingness. He has.
Well, I kind of think if we want to have Ryu to the supreme, I think we should not use the power of nothingness and use the Satsui no Hana.
Well, I suppose that would be alright.
Well, we can use the power of nothingness, but I mean, it's kind of like if we have a form that's a lot stronger, I kind of feel that is it like, as in like power scaling and the way he fights, is it different to the Satsui no Hado?
Yeah, the Satsui no Hado is way more powerful than the power of nothingness form.
Yeah.
Many people think it's the other way around, but trust me, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, even if we were to limit each character to one transformation, there's the question, which one? The best forms? So that would be Dragon Liu Kang, pure Devil Jin, and full Satsui no Hado Evil Ryu. Actually, do you reckon that could work?
Yeah, I think it can.
Alright, so let's see at the very best, who is the best. So we got Liu Kang in his dragon form, who can eat a fully grown man or woman in half with one bite. We got pure Devil Jin, who can shoot a gigantic blue laser out of his eyes and create a fucking sonic boom by punching his dad. And we have
Evil Ryu, who I suppose he's actually stronger than regular Akuma.
That has always been debatable. People say he's
debatable, definitely.
People say in full Evil Ryu form, he's either weaker, even, or slightly stronger than base form Akuma.
Yeah, definitely not Oni or Shin Akuma.
Oh god. Once Akuma transforms, Ryu stands no amount of chance against him.
No, he literally kills everyone.
Yep, the only chance
fight with the Sura.
Yep, in video games, no matter how powerful Ryu tries to be in evil form, as soon as Akuma turns Shin, boom, Ryu gets knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, it would literally just annihilate him.
Can we all just agree Akuma's just too OP?
Yeah, I can definitely agree.
Well anyway, let's move. So, who is better? A dragon that can eat possibly a whole human? A guy who can create a sonic boom with one punch? Or a guy who can be on par with another guy who not only can destroy an island with one punch a submarine up from the sea with one punch, but also is able to destroy other shit with one punch in base form. And I'm not kidding.
Well, we could talk about the thing where Akuma did destroy a really huge asteroid, but then he did use his Shin Akuma form, so we can't exactly.
Yeah, that's my point. Akuma punched a submarine from the sea with one punch. He destroyed an entire island with like a very small but abandoned island with one punch, and he's probably destroyed some other shit while in a base form.
Like a submarine.
Yeah, he punched a submarine while underwater, right up through the water when he was about 1,000 miles into the water. No joke. He was 1,000 miles down in the water. He punched a submarine so hard, not only did it go up through the water, once it went out of the surface of the water, it broke on impact.
Oh, and also the fact that Evil Ryu also has the Raging Demon's soul, which I really doubt that Jin and Liu Kang know how to empty their souls before, Evil Ryu hits them with that.
And the funny thing is, unlike Akuma, Ryu is not in control when he's in his evil form. He can control it, but he's not. But he's more like he's more like a berserker fighter. He doesn't care what happens during the fight as long as he wins. And
yeah,
Akuma Ikuma can control what he does with the Sasori no, with the not Sasori no Hado, the Shongoku Zatsu. He can actually choose to destroy your soul or not. While Ryu, because he's not in control of his power, would actually kill you if he landed his on you. And no joke, the move destroys your soul. You are dead forever.
I bet Akuma could beat Shao Kahn with the Raging Demon song.
Oh god, no one.
But do you think he'd be able to find the right song?
No one in Mortal Kombat could stand up to Akuma.
Yeah, the only one who was actually able to stand, not saying stronger, but was able to actually stand to Akuma. Sora.
Yep, and even he still didn't win.
No, Akuma punched him, and Asura had only one eye open, where Akuma had
both of them open?
I can say after this, if we are, I'm just going to say it, I think even though being able to create sonic booms, and also being able to destroy a whole forest with a laser beam, evil Ryu is literally on par with regular Akuma, who has done all these things, and that he's raised.
So, are you saying
evil
that
Ryu would take both?
Well, this is a surprise. Well, yeah, I would have to say that too. I think Ryu wins again with his transformation.
Yeah. So after comparing all of these results, who do you think would win?
Well, if I remember, well, let's bring up the little tally chart, shall we? Quickly. In strength, we said it was Ryu. In speed, we actually gave it to Jin Kasama. In terms of techniques, we gave it once again to Ryu. In martial arts, it doesn't really matter who's better. In transformation, once again, we both agreed it was Ryu. So 4 times out of 5, Ryu has won every time.
Yeah.
The only thing he can't beat.
Wait a second, didn't we say that Jin lost in didn't Jin win in speed?
Yep, that's why I said 4 times out of 5.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I don't speak very clearly sometimes.
Oh, it's okay.
So, with everything we've talked about in part 2, even though it looked like Jin was going to be the winner at first, after some brief discussion and rethinking, ladies and gentlemen, the winner is the Street Fighting champion, Ryu.
You know what? This made me think of something. You know how evil Ryu was unstable, right?
Yep.
If Ryu destroys a cow, he's just going to be like, "Victory means utter destruction."
Yep. Everything he kills, he will say like a line that makes him sound like he just destroyed a warlord or something.
Yeah, like if he just destroys like a cat, that's what he's gonna say.
Okay, so last minute thoughts. Do you think it was absolutely unnecessary to add Liu Kang into this? Do you think he had no chance against the other two?
Yes, I do definitely believe that. I actually think Ryu versus Jin is actually a pretty good debate. But once you get into topic about and actually like test these two, really powerful.
Yeah. Even do you reckon it would have changed much if we were to use Mortal Kombat 10 Liu Kang?
I don't really see that. I actually think he'd have a much better chance with Jin, but evil Ryu, I don't really think so.
Yeah, I mean, if he got a successful grab, he could destroy your very soul, and there's no coming back from that.
No, you're just dead.
In fact,
it's just that
not even Shenron from Dragon Ball Z could bring you back to life. The only reason you can come back to life
you're gone forever.
The only reason you can come back to life thanks to Shenron is that your soul is still alive. But the fact that the Raging Demon can destroy your soul means not even Shenron can bring you back to life.
Jeez. It's basically like what Goku said. If you're dead and then you die again, you're not going to exist. Where with with Evil Ryu, he straight up makes you not exist.
Yep. The only thing that's left behind is your dead body.
Yeah, that's it.
And you know what the funny thing is about this? And I wanted to say this because one guy had to try and pay me off in the comments, so I decided to say this just to see what he would say afterwards, which I'm totally gonna ignore, by the way. I think we can both safely say comic book Ryu, who has been proven to be more powerful than video game Ryu, would not need to transform to beat these guys.
I definitely agree.
I mean, seriously, a character that's more... Seriously, if video game Ryu can beat these guys, and anime / comic book Ryu is stronger than that version of Ryu, ho ho! You better believe that they don't stand a chance.
Yeah, definitely.
So, there we go. That's the end of it. Thank you for joining me today, Sonic the Hedgehog Pingus.
No worries. In fact, to be honest, I will apologize because this may have taken a while to do part 2. It's just that I had so many plans, but I'm glad we've got part 2 down. And we got some really good results.
So, there you go, guys. That's part 2 of Ryu vs. Jin vs. Liu. And the winner was Ryu. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you leave a like, you leave a comment, you subscribe to join the Hedgehog Army /Nation today. Also, I will leave a link in the description below so you can go check out the Hedgehog Pingus' channel so you can subscribe to him as well.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is actually making just like yours. I'm thinking of making a versus debate as well.
Pretty cool. Who knows? Maybe I'll make a guest appearance on your channel this time.
Really appreciate that.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, Sonic the Hedgehog Pingus.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for having me.
And also, quick announcement, guys. I think this is a good enough stop as any to say this is the end of Season 1 of Who Would Win.
Oh wow, Season 1 already finished?
Yep, I've done so many videos already, I thought, fuck it. This should be the end of Season 1. And come Season 2, oh, there is a lot more to come.
Oh man, I can't wait for that.
And I'm gonna start off Season 2 with a bang. And I mean a bang.
Oh,
you might see some return appearances of Dominic Anderson and Mr. Sonic the Hedgehog Pingus here, and maybe some of the other YouTubers who helped me with this very lovely debate series. Would you like to say goodbye to the audience?
See you, audience. See you, Hedgehog Army. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and take in mind that we all know that Evil Ryu is stronger. No hating.
Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. stay awesome, and as always, a Dragon Fist. Hiya!